What's up? My name is Caroline of Habitsinprogress.com, and in this video I'll show you how to batch create content and save hours upon hours each week. For instance, it takes me about 3 hours to create and schedule all my pins for Pinterest for the whole month. Want to know how? Then keep on watching. Batching content is a very simple concept where you just create a bunch of the same or similar kinds of content at the same time, instead of creating each piece of content whenever you need it. For instance, instead of writing and publishing one article per week, you could take 1 day per month where you write 4 articles, and then another day where you edit and upload or schedule all of these articles. And so you only need 1 or 2 days per month to get the whole content for your blog out there for the whole month. This has a number of benefits. First of all, it will reduce a lot of stress and overwhelm because you can plan ahead. You can plan weeks or months ahead of time, and you don't need to worry last minute what kind of content you could create now, because you've already got a bank of content that is scheduled out. This also frees up a lot of time to do other things in your business. So if you're growing, I know as a content creator, content is really important, but there are also other things like, for instance, managing a team or hiring your first VA or thinking of long-term strategies, and through batching that frees up time to work on those other things. Okay, so here are 6 tips how you can batch create your content. Number 1, decide how often you want to upload. Maybe you already know that and you're consistently uploading once per week, twice per week, or however often you want, but maybe you just upload something whenever you have the time. So if you're at that point, first of all, decide, do you want to upload 1 new piece of content per week, 2 new pieces, just something that is reasonable and doable for you and that you can stick to consistently. Let's say you have a blog and you want to publish 1 new blog post per week. This is very important because this way you can reverse engineer the process. We'll get to that in a minute, but you need to know how much time you actually need to create that piece of content. So you need to know whether you want to upload once per week or 4 times per week. So just determine that for yourself. Number 2, use a content calendar. Using a content calendar has definitely been a huge game changer for me, because it's really difficult to plan ahead if you don't have anywhere to contain all that information. This is why I've created a customizable content calendar for 2021 that I use myself to plan out all my content for all the platforms that I'm publishing on. And you can download that by going to the description and clicking the link there, so you can create your own copy and customize it for your own needs. Once you've downloaded your content calendar, determine 1 day or 1 afternoon per week where you're gonna plan your whole week. If you like to plan even further ahead, you can even do it once per month. So this is what I do. I plan once per month and then I refine it every week. But the important thing is that you ideally block it off in your calendar, for instance, on, let's say, Sunday evening, and then you know you have to think about what kinds of content you're gonna create the next week, and that will allow you to effectively plan ahead. Number 3, create a workflow for each kind of content. So this is another very important part to make batching as efficient and effective as possible, and that is to know exactly what kind of steps are required for you to publish a piece of content. For instance, let's take the blog post example again. So for me personally, maybe you have a different workflow, but for me personally, it means first to do keyword research and to create an outline for the article. Then I need to write the article, and the 3rd step is to edit it and then upload or schedule it. When you're first starting out to create a workflow, make it as detailed as possible. So take in every step that is required. I think in the beginning for me it was about 9 steps that were required to publish a blog post. And then see which parts you can take together, which parts or tasks that make sense, that are similar, that you can batch together. And then see that it is ideally it's like a 3-step process. So that is like you have a good overview over it, and it's easy to batch it because then you can take the first part together for several blog posts. So for instance, you can take the preparation part together for several blog posts, then the writing, and then the editing. Number 4, find ways to reuse your content for different platforms. If you're a little more advanced, publishing content on different platforms definitely makes sense to attract a bigger audience. Now, the good thing is you don't need to create a whole new piece of content for each platform that you're publishing on. you can just reuse an existing piece of content and recreate it to match the type of content that is published on that platform. For instance, what I do is I create a video for most of my blog posts. So that means my blog post is my outline and my script for my video. I don't need to recreate it. I just create a summary or a shorter version of that blog post and do it in a video format. That way I can save tons of time because I don't need to do the research twice and the script is already done through me writing the article. Number 5, block off a time slot to only work on one kind of content. So this is where the core concept of batching comes into play. So let's take the blog post example again. As I've mentioned before, it's divided into 3 parts: preparation or outline, writing, and editing. Now theoretically, or what you're maybe doing now, is that you write the whole blog post from top to bottom in one day. So you start with keyword research and you end with editing and uploading the article. Well, this is totally possible. It's not the most efficient way. The most efficient way is to batch one part for several articles. Ideally, you will block off a time during the week where you just write blog posts. So for instance, let's say you want to publish 2 blog posts per week and you want to batch that 1 week at a time. So you could block off one day during the week where you're going to write 2 blog posts, but you're only going to do the writing. Or maybe it just takes an afternoon. You have to figure that out for yourself. But you're not going to do the preparation and you're not going to do the editing. Take one day where you're only going to do the writing and then another day only for the editing. The best way to block off that time, in my opinion, is through calendar blocking. This means that you actually put a block into your calendar so that you can see, okay, during this time, I'm only gonna do the writing or only gonna work on one kind of content. And number 6, start batching once per week and work up from there. One big mistake that people often make when they start batching is that they overwhelm themselves even more by wanting to create content for months in advance. Now, mega batching for a really long period of time is awesome, but not to start out with. Batching is supposed to create less stress and overwhelm and not put more on your plate. So start at small and start batching for 1 week at a time and then slowly work it up from there. So for instance, I started batching with Pinterest and I started doing it once per week for 1 week at a time. And then I've noticed, okay, I think I'm getting better at this. I have a good workflow. Now I can take it up a level. And now I'm doing all my Pinterest stuff once per month and that takes me about 3 hours for the whole month. So start small and then slowly build it up from there. Alright, so there you have it. This is how you can batch create content and save tons of time. What kind of content will you start batching first? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, hit the like button down below, share with your friends, and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!